get this
Start
ball rolling.
recording. Yeah, recording time, motherfuckers.
I'm so happy.
It's flash
so
fried
happy.
time. Oh, yeah. We just got done recording an interview with the inimitable Uwe Boll.
Yep.
Dr.
Not
Boll.
Uwe, by the way. It's Uwe.
Calling Dr. Boll.
So, yeah, we learned that. So, we, a lot of our fans already told us that, but we didn't listen to them.
Well, because they don't know shit.
They
we
don't
get it
know.
from the source.
Bull knows what his first
We
name
heard it
is.
from the horse's fucking mouth. So,
And it's
yeah.
Uwe.
For you guys waiting for that, I know not everyone's going to see this because it's only for patrons and shit, but for those of you guys waiting for that Uwe Boll interview, I'm going to go through and make a few little, I'm not going to edit out any of the actual content, but I'm going to throw up some pictures over it and stuff like that. And
Little visual interest.
yeah, a little bit more
spice.
visual stuff to it. So it'll probably come out maybe later tonight or tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned for that.
That'd be
But
cool.
that's not what this show's about. The show's about the news, which is is that the thing that makes me want
got
to
the
walk
blues?
into the woods?
Don't
Paul,
read
you
the
think? Is it
news.
the news? Or is that
Everything,
just
man.
part of it? It's
I've just had
every-
a thing this week where like I'm done with everything.
just-
Everything just is like, and a lot of people would say like, how's that different from any other week? But it's
Right.
especially pronounced this week. Everything in public pisses me off. Everything I have to do to maintain my life pisses me off.
So it's just like everything.
Yeah.
Everything's become a chore, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all been there.
Paul,
But Paul
you
is,
may be depressed.
Paul is
You think?
especially there. I don't think Paul's depressed.
No, I think he's happy.
I think Paul is. I mean, like I've always known Paul to be. I mean, the whole time we were talking to Uwe, by the way, he was like, "Actors, man, they're just a miserable lot of fucking." I'm just like sitting there thinking about Paul, like,
Who do we know?
Well, he
just
said
like
he
that?
said he had some nice actors, you know. what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Apparently, me and Ray Liotta have a lot in common. Not to spoil the interview,
Yep.
but
yeah. I always knew there was a reason.
that's
I hated
cool.
you,
Maybe
Paul.
I'd like Ray Liotta, and you wouldn't.
Well,
Maybe I would chill good with.
Don't you like Ray Liotta to begin with?
Well, I like his acting.
Right.
I don't know what he's like outside. I always assumed he'd be a cool dude to chill and have a beer with. I guess I'm wrong.
You know what, TJ? He quit smoking
Maybe
using
not.
Chantix, dude. So
Oof. Yeah, he's
you're not gonna be, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm putting a cigarette. Oh, you don't smoke anymore, do you?
Fair enough.
But you know what?
Fair enough.
You know what'll probably happen? They'll be like, "Fuck, that was just a commercial. Give me that fucking smoke, TJ." You know what's gonna happen, TJ?
What?
Not only he take a cigarette off you, he take your last one. He'd be like,
Damn.
"Man, I only got one, bro," and he'd be like, "Thanks."
I don't like Ray Liotta. I just don't. And Uwe basically. I mean,
I smoked your cigarette, TJ.
Not to
I
spoil
smoke it
too
up.
much. Whatever. You'll see. You guys will see the interview. So anyway, it's time to get to the news. We got some doozies today.
Yeah, we're starting with a
Whoa.
weird one.
Starting with a real weird one.
Whoa!
I haven't even. You got to wait till I say what the damn story is before you start.
I can
reacting
fucking
to it.
read, TJ. I
Oh,
can
whoa,
fucking...
whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa!
whoa!
Wowza! Wow! What's going on?
So Mercedes Carrera, Damon Sins booked for assault of a minor. Now, of course, we spoke with Mercedes Carrera 2 or 3 times back in the Drunken Peasants days.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was always kind of like, I'm the MAGA porn star, I'm the conservative porn star.
Yeah, the red-pilled porn star.
Yeah, and I'm always fighting for veterans' rights, and
Free
stuff.
speech.
She took a veteran date to the porn awards,
Yeah.
and she's a big free speech warrior
What?
and all this stuff. And she was very popular on the show. Apparently, there is a very deep, dark side here. Now, first of all, I mean, I know it's a superficial thing, especially when we're talking about something as serious as this child molestation shit. But you see her there. She she don't look like the Mercedes Carrera that we knew.
No.
This is when every time we ever saw her on Drunken Peasants, she looked like this.
Right.
But apparently,
She wore a lot of makeup.
Meth and no makeup and being arrested for abusing a minor for 4 months makes you look like this.
Have a mugshot like this.
Well, I can't hammer home enough the meth component here. Meth. I've seen meth just ruin beautiful women and good-looking dudes. It turns them into fucking nightmares. So if she's been doing meth, then I know there's a lot of makeup involved too, but
Sure.
I would imagine that Mercedes Carrera not on meth would probably look a little better out of her makeup than that.
Yeah, I think so. Adult performer Mercedes Carrera and her partner, producer-director Damon Sins were arrested Friday at their home in Rancho Cucamonga, California, on complaints of sexual acts with a child under the age of 10 and possession of a controlled substance while armed with a handgun. I don't think it's... Is the gun illegal? I don't think the gun's illegal.
If you have a gun in possession of a weapon and possession of drugs, it's additional charge.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I believe is what it is.
According to a press release from the Rancho Cucamonga Police Department, police deputies were first notified of the acts against the alleged victim on Thursday, the release stated, and detectives served a search warrant upon Carrera and Sins at their residence Friday. The subsequent search of the residence turned up a large amount of evidence corroborating the victim's statement. Additionally, the detectives found methamphetamine and 2 loaded handguns on the premises. Carrera and Sins were detained and transported to the Rancho Cucamonga police station for interviews, after which they were arrested and booked into the West Valley Detention Center for various counts of sexual acts against a child. On Tuesday, the case was presented to the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office for review, following which the office formally charged each suspect with 8 counts of PC 288.7 sexual acts with a child under 10 years old and 1 count of HS 11370.1 possesses a controlled substance while armed with a handgun. The 2 were denied bail. So I mean, when you're denied bail, that means that's open and shut. Basically.
Yeah, this is very serious charges.
I wouldn't go so far as to say open and shut, but being denied bail means that
they believe you're a flight risk.
Right. The judge believes that not only are you a flight risk, but a danger to the community based on the evidence that's been presented in the preliminaries.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, they moved with a clarity from investigating to charging these people. This is unprecedented speed for the legal system. So, I mean, this has got to be pretty damning evidence.
Right. Carrera and Sins are scheduled to be arraigned today at the San Bernardino County Superior Court in Rancho Cucamonga, which is located about 70 miles east of L.A.
I mean, it just shows you...
detectives believe there may be additional victims and urge anyone with further information to call the Rancho Cucamonga Police Detective Bureau at 909-477-2800. Those who wish to remain anonymous may call 1-800-78-CRIME or leave information at WeTip.com.
I mean, doesn't this blow your guys' fucking minds? I mean, it's not like we knew her or like we were buddies with her or anything, but
she was a guest on the show, and you have
no idea
conversations.
Yeah, and you have no idea what someone does in their free time.
Not according to my wife Chelsea. She's like, I always knew that bitch was bad.
Hey, maybe she did. I'm not going to say she did or didn't, but I mean, from my perspective, like the shit I saw about her was like a bunch of porn posts, like on Twitter, because she follows us and we follow her. I mean, I guess maybe you guys don't.
Well, this is an object lesson for me in like people should if people take anything away from this, they should take away that you don't know people on the internet.
You don't.
And that's just true across the fucking board. What you are shown, and that's true of us too. What you're shown is what we want you to see. And what goes on behind the scenes, not all of it is as dark as this, but like I never would have pinned Mercedes Carrera as a diddler.
No, dude.
I'm not saying she is innocent until alleged diddler.
Right.
Yeah, alleged, of course.
I wouldn't have thought that she was holed up in a house in Rancho Cucamonga with a bunch of meth.
I never would have believed she'd been charged with
and
this.
Yeah.
If you want to say, would someone like Mercedes Carrera have been charged with these crimes? I'd been like, fuck no.
No, probably not.
She's going on. She's fucking adults, consenting adults.
She's not some
for money.
She's not some struggling, adult film star. I mean, this is a big, not a huge name in the industry, but a pretty big name in the industry. A lot of followers.
Let me tell you something that I noticed too. And I don't know if you guys, but like, I went and looked her up on all these porn sites, not to jerk off to her. I know you guys are thinking that, but just to see, and she had barely anything before DP. Like before she was on Drunken Peasants, there was very little. But then after that and all this media stuff she's done, like she exploded on the scene. Like
she's got 221,000 followers on one Twitter, and I think she has another Twitter. So that's
and a lot of it's porn stuff too. So it's really easy. To look,
and obviously a lot of people have jerked off to Mercedes Carrera.
Sure, I'm not judging anyone for doing that.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. I mean, it's not ugly.
She's a unit.
Oh yeah. And she has significantly less on her based MILF account, Which MILF is she? Does she have her own kids?
I don't know.
I think it's like the age range of.
Is it just so? It's just basically based
She's
on
in the
age.
older.
age range.
Is that how that works?
I don't know.
I believe that's how it works.
Okay.
That's my understanding of the MILF.
It doesn't look
category
like she
for
actually
porn.
uses this account anymore, or like I don't think she'd be using any account for a while. But yeah, her main account, over 200,000 people following it, spanking the monkey to Mercedes Carrera, not knowing that what they're really jerking off to is a fucking child molesting meth demon.
Allegedly.
Alleged, yes.
I mean, we don't know for certain. We haven't seen the
There's
evidence.
not been a conviction
but,
yet, of course, but
I mean,
I think we all. I mean, we're making assumptions here.
It makes one wonder when you're arrested for this, because I don't know anyone that's ever been arrested for this kind of shit, and the people that have heard of it were usually guilty. But I mean, that's not to say that she is. She deserves her day in court. This guy does too. But I mean, it doesn't look good for you. Let's put it that way. It doesn't look good, and with, like I said, the stunning speed at which they were investigated and charged with these crimes is unprecedented. Even
if the assault on a minor shit doesn't hold up, I mean, they definitely found the guns and meth. There's no even denying that.
The best case scenario for her is she's an accomplice that didn't do nothing.
Right. Maybe it'll be one of those cases where she turns on this guy and, spills the beans on him for a reduced sentence.
Well, that depends on what evidence they have. If they have an open and shut case against both of them,
they might not
just say,
even
go
need that,
fuck
or
yourself,
they might just be like,
and
yeah,
you're
go to
facing
hell.
10 years in fucking California State Prison.
Probably more than 10 years for the severe. I mean, because according to what I've heard about this, I don't think it actually said so in this article, but another article, it said that this is a pattern of abuse that continued over a period of 4 months.
I mean,
so this is
and
not
multiple victims potentially.
This is not just one night on a crazy meth binge they did something fucked up. This is
a pattern of behavior.
Systematic pattern of
abuse.
This is their lifestyle. This is what they're doing allegedly. Once again, but yeah, it's crazy shit. And obviously something we had to cover, just having spoken to her in the past.
It's some peripheral connection, yeah.
Right. So, anyway, that's that story. Crazy shit. We will
Paul,
update you as it goes.
How the
along.
wood's looking now, buddy?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I just hope Mercedes isn't there.
She's not waiting. I'm here, Paul.
Now she's gonna molest you, Paul.
I'd be fine with
Allegedly.
that.
I don't think Paul would care.
Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring says he wore blackface at college party.
Jesus, these are blackface loving guys.
So Virginia
turns
Governor
out
Ralph Northam did it, and now apparently Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring also says that he's done it.
Dude, how many politicians right now in the Deep South are shitting their pants at this new information?
What happens when my blackface pictures
I want
come out?
all of my fucking yearbooks collected. I want you to purchase all of them that you can get and burn them.
Get every copy of that yearbook and burn it.
Because I'm dressed like a black mammy in half of them fucking photos, man. I can't do
Remember
this.
Little Black Sambos? I used to go there as a child. Boy, I dressed up at his every year. Every year I was a Little Black Sambo.
Virginia sank deeper into political turmoil Wednesday when another top Democrat, Attorney General Mark Herring, admitted putting on blackface in the 1980s when he was a college student. With Governor Ralph Northam's career in extreme peril over a racist photo in his 1984 medical school yearbook, Herring issued a statement saying he wore brown makeup and a wig in 1980 to look like a rapper during a party as a 19-year-old at the University of Virginia. Herring, 57, said he was deeply, deeply sorry for the pain he caused that he causes with this revelation. Basically,
if he would have just waited till 1996, he could have won his Eminem.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and avoided all this shit.
Had your youth in the wrong era.
Yep.
I think it's kind of really fucking bizarre to me to hold someone at the age of 57 accountable for something that is really not that big of a deal, if we're going to be honest, that they did when they were the age of 19.
Let me take the devil's advocate position.
Take the devil's advocate position.
This dude is the governor of a state.
Well, this guy's the attorney general.
Whatever. A governor also did this.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
These guys are in states that are have huge black populations.
Right.
Right. And there's economic disparity in those black populations. And then it comes out that you've got a governor that at one point thought so little of the black community that he decided to do something that is like, look, I don't think it's a huge deal putting on fucking blackface, but it is a direct fuck you to black people because the history of it is the minstrelsy.
Yeah.
Right.
And lampooning these people by smearing shit on your face is not exactly the most respectful thing you can do.
Sure.
Based on something they had no choice in. They didn't choose their fucking melanin.
I mean, put yourself in the headspace of like a 19-year-old at a fucking, college party in 1980. And it's a very different context than doing that, today.
Right.
Or to do that as a fully developed adult consciousness.
I'm
not saying that it's a good thing to do or whatever. I'm just saying that it's kind of weird to me to take something that happened in 1980 that was done by a teenager and say, well, even now at the age of 57, you still need to answer for these
the question is,
crimes against political correctness.
Yeah, do you want to retroactively apply cultural standards? And I mean, some people do and some people don't. That's why some people look at statues of, like, let's say Thomas Jefferson or George Washington and go, oh, slave-owning racist pieces of shit. Why are we fucking promoting these people?
I think it's a muddy issue, though.
Well, it is.
On one end, I agree with you. If I was judged for some of the shit I said and done at 19, I was never in blackface, but you know what I mean? I probably said some pretty off-color shit at 19 that if I was called to account for it now, it would be pretty hard for me to do. On the other hand, I'm not running a fucking community.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not running a state. I don't have constituents, right? So what I thought when I was 19 isn't really of note. But what he thought at 19, yeah, there's a good chance that in the intervening years he's grown as a person, and in fact that's what he says.
I mean, you could look at the history of blackface and say, look, it is racist, but just because someone does it doesn't necessarily 100% mean that they intended to be racist,
right?
I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I mean, I'm saying it, but we have to remember there has to be more nuance. Like, it's like when you talk about these issues, it's almost always presented as just this person is obviously a closet racist, and that could be true. And I'm not dismissing that as a possibility, but to simply just say this is racism and that's it, and that's all it is. It's kind of like when you look at the Bible or making pronouncements of the Bible. It's like you're setting an established fact, and that's it. And once you can't question something anymore, you can't talk about it anymore, and it becomes a closed issue where we can't discuss this and have come to some sort of conclusion that is maybe a little bit more nuanced and thoughtful, as opposed to just doing this knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people are just in favor of now. And look, I understand why people are offended by it, but being offended isn't enough. It's not enough to say, well, I'm just offended by something, so now, therefore, this issue is off limits, or we can't talk about this without just saying capitulation to these ideas. I mean, look, I understand why people are offended. I get what you're saying. This guy represents a lot of people.
A lot of black people.
And a lot of black people.
And if it is reflective of a continuing
that's an issue
racial
as well.
bias, then that's a fucking huge issue.
It is a huge issue. I agree with you. I don't think it should be dismissed, but it needs to be discussed.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be discussed in the proper fucking context. Like, hey, what was the intent when you did this? What was your mentality at the time? How has your mentality evolved since then, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. That's deeply, deeply sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, we need.
I mean, that's probably not his full statement.
We need something more than just a superficial "sorry for the pain I caused." Like, can we actually have like
how about a frank talk about
about this shit?
When I was 19, I was insensitive to the plight of black people, and I did it as a jokey thing, and I didn't realize that at that time I wasn't thinking about the history of minstrelsy and just the kind of degradation of painting your face up to look like somebody else. And now I repudiate that. I would never do that as an adult. It's something that I'm ashamed of, and
Yeah, I kind of wonder, why is it that so many people who've done blackface, like I pointed out in a video where I was talking about this previously, that you can go find pictures of Dan Aykroyd in blackface from trading places, Right,
but that's a movie,
right?
Done for comedic effect,
right? I mean, but you could. I think that probably, when these kids were doing this, like, oh, we're so edgy, look, right. I think there was probably an element of comedy there as well.
Robert Downey Jr. did it, 10 years ago?
I mean, they were kind of making fun of the insensitivity of doing blackface with that.
But I mean, you could still
But,
argue
yeah, I mean,
it's still.
some people
he
were
was
still
in
offended by
He
it.
was still in blackface, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say it's satirical.
So I don't know that
or whatever.
I don't know that you can always just point to like, oh well, the history of minstrelsy. I mean, like, yeah, okay, but that was one context. The context of blackface during minstrelsy versus the context of blackface in the 80s versus the context of blackface today. Those are three entirely different fucking things.
Yeah.
And we can't just treat them all like it's one continuous, it's exactly the same in any era. It's not. It's just not. But, I do think that, this kind of thing, obviously, it hurts people and stuff. And, I'm not super, honestly, sympathetic.
Would you do it?
No, but only because I'd be fucking roasted for it.
I mean, would you do it if you weren't going to get immediately roasted?
Well, then there'd be no point in doing it. But look, if it was just if there was a culture that was totally neutral towards blackface, then I guess I would do it if I felt like it was applicable, like I was playing a black character or something.
Right.
If I needed I'm gonna make up a black character in my videos. If it was just no one cared, it was okay to do. Then yeah, maybe. But I mean, then there wouldn't be any edge to it. It would just be a decision based on
the problem with the Huffington
character.
Post and their take on this, if you inevitably just read the whole article, is just that they're not doing that because they're wanting to critically examine this issue. They're doing it because they want this headline to go, "This guy's a racist." And we all know that's the conclusion that they're going to want you to draw. And I mean,
that very well may be the
and
correct
that may be the true
conclusion, but we don't know that. We don't have a fucking window into this dude's head. And like I said, I am a completely different person now at 38 than I was at 19
Well, here's
years
what
old.
he basically says. He says that conduct clearly shows that as a young man, I had a callous and inexcusable lack of awareness and insensitivity to the pain my behavior could inflict on others. He also said, this conduct is in no way reflective of the man I have become in the nearly 40 years since.
Then for me, I got to be honest with you, that's it. Because you know what? We have no choice but to take this man at his word. Now, if he continues, if he's behind a bunch of racist policy that I don't know about, then
Right.
obviously I take this back. Or if he goes forward with a bunch of obviously racist policies
Yeah.
in the future. But for what this is, for the casual passerby observer, which we are, this dude got caught doing something when he was 19 years old that was stupid and insensitive. He's a fucking 58-year-old man now, and he shouldn't. We should give him the benefit of the doubt that we give ourselves.
Right.
Nobody thinks that they should be held to account for what they thought when they were a teenager.
Right.
So I'm willing to give that to this man based on knowing nothing about his policy.
Right, exactly. But, like I said, or like Paul said, if it turns out that there's a bunch of racist bullshit on this guy's record
I mean,
as
yeah,
a politician in
if
power,
there's
then that's
one-
a different story. Then it just becomes...
If there's a singular issue, then I mean, you have to give someone the benefit of the doubt, I feel. And I feel it's almost unfair. It's like, oh, these people must resign, they must resign, they must resign. It's like, well, if they've done one thing and it's so long ago, I just don't see why they should resign for it, unless there's a pattern of it or there's something else you can point to. If you can only point to this one thing, you're saying that no one deserves a second chance, then what about all those people that are in prison that have committed crimes? They don't deserve a second chance either? Oh, well, this person did something bad. Well, nope, that's it. They did one bad thing in their life. Fuck them, write them off, that's it. And that's the wrong attitude to have in this country. And people wonder why so many people are in prison, because people act this way. You do one bad thing, and I'm not saying this is necessarily this did one bad thing. I mean, like, obviously, like you said, there could be more that comes out. But in the context of this, if you're just going to dismiss someone for one bad thing they did, then you're not really about forgiveness, and you're really just complicit in this culture of just
Not
totally...
only that, but you're defending a paradigm of, like, people should be held to account for shit that they said or did when their brains weren't even fully developed into adults yet. It's just retarded.
What if someone comes out now about someone who's a leader that, they were 10 years old and they said
when
this
I was
thing.
12, I pulled my dick out on the train. Must resign. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, it's stupid. Pope admits clerical abuse of nuns, including sexual slavery.
Why even print this? And I'm sorry to just interject just right off the bat and say, because look, the truth is self-evident here with the Catholic Church. It is not a force for fucking good in the world. The Pope going and paying lip service yet again to sexual abuse and pedophilia is just hilarious. Oh, I admit that we fucked up. And what are you going to do about it? And I guarantee you the conclusion is nothing. This is just more fucking asswipe shit. That when I see a story like this, I wish I could just print it out and wipe my ass with it, because it's such fucking horse shit.
I just don't know how people keep filing vacant-eyed into these big old cathedrals with this fucking... bunch of old vampires that are raping nuns and children. It's just like, what are you doing?
And the very fact that you need these people to interpret God's will for you, it's just the oldest, most fucking full of shit brand of Christianity. Like, Christianity is all bullshit, but it's just like this is truly just the worst of it almost. I mean, I can't think of anything worse than the Catholic fucking church.
So let's learn some details. Pope Francis has admitted that clerics have sexually abused nuns, and in one case, they were kept as sex slaves. He said that in that case, his predecessor, Pope Benedict, was forced to shut down an entire congregation of nuns who were being abused by priests.
Sounds like the fucking people I need to go to for my morality.
It is thought to be the first time that Pope Francis has acknowledged the sexual abuse of nuns by the clergy. He said the church was attempting to address the problem, but said it was still going on.
Have them go to prison where they belong.
Yeah,
Last November, the
that
Catholic Church's Global Organization for Nuns denounced the culture of silence and secrecy that prevented them from speaking out.
Rightly fucking so.
Blah, 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 blah. So apparently they're not only are they fucking the altar boys, they're also fucking the nuns. In some case, they're just sexually enslaving the nuns. Like, oh, you want to devote your life to God? Well, here he is, right here in my fucking robe.
And Pope Francis is a cunt, dude. He had such a mandate when he was fucking elected pope. All these young people were behind him, and he had all these kind of progressive things to say, and he's just turned into another vampire burying the fucking corpses of raped children. He's just a piece of fucking shit.
And
that whole
enslaved
organization
nuns.
is a piece of fucking shit. It ought to be dismantled. It ought to be fucking made illegal.
Dude, I've said this about this guy for years. This guy is the fucking PR pope and nothing more. It's all fucking lip service. We're really trying to solve the issue. Then turn them over to secular authorities and let them be fucking punished for their rape and fucking pillaging and fucking lies and deceit. That's all these people have been fucking doing for thousands of years. Fuck these people. We don't need them. They're parasites. They're social parasites. They prey on people. They fucking lie. They cheat. They steal. And they rape. What else do they need to fucking do?
So yeah, the Pope has. I mean, it's all just lip service shit.
We feel really bad. Fuck you.
The quotes, but Oscars 2019 problems mount as Academy aims to reboot TV show.
Don't waste your time.
The lack of
it ain't gonna work.
So this is what they're doing. They're getting rid of host. There's not gonna be a host. So
no host.
The last time they've actually done no host Oscars before. The last time they did it was in 1989, and it was one of the most panned, despised Oscar ceremonies of all time.
Well, it's because back then the Oscars used to actually be kind of funny and interesting to watch.
Right.
Because they had a good host, and the jokes came freely.
Oh, we can't have any real comedians that might offend our sensitive viewing audience, so we're just going to have no host.
I have got a better plan for the Oscars to get people interested in watching the show again.
The winners are shot on the stage.
Well, we could do that. I would watch that. How's about the Academy stop pushing bland, banal bullshit to the top of the fucking Oscars and start actually celebrating some of the great films that are being made? That way, people actually feel like it's not just a stroke party, which is what it is. It's an industry circle jerk. I'll grab Harvey's dick, and Harvey's got a fistful of fucking, the other producer's dick. And it's what it's been for too long, and people are sick of it.
So let's go ahead and read a little bit about this article. Problems are continuing to pile up for this year's Oscars ceremony, the showpiece TV event of the awards season. Having already lost its preferred host in Kevin Hart and been roundly criticized for its attempt to halt falling ratings by introducing then abandoning a Best Popular Film category. So they're basically acting schizophrenic at this point.
Well, they're desperate.
The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences is alienating key supporters while attempting to navigate tricky waters. Under pressure from the host network ABC, which pays around $75 million per year to screen the event, the Academy is attempting to incorporate more ratings-friendly features to its notoriously sprawling show, which recorded its lowest ever figure of 26 million in 2018.
Dinosaur. Just fucking film the event and release clips on YouTube. No one fucking cares about your fucking stroke sesh anymore, Hollywood.
It's a shame, too, because the Oscars used to mean something.
The
Oscars at one point in time and for a long period of their history were an actual prestigious award that was given to really films that challenged the status quo and pushed the art of filmmaking.
So,
and now it's just a stroke job for industry insiders.
They're going to keep it 3 hours or under. That's their first thing. They're going to hand out the less popular categories during the commercial breaks. Why not just get rid of them if you're going to do that?
Yeah, seriously. Have a separate ceremony for the losers.
Yeah, have them be like, oh, it's the technical Oscars or whatever. Move it to that. I mean, they already do that anyway. Move those to that other ceremony.
You know what? No. Fuck this shit. These are the people that help make these movies be made. You know what basically it just says to them? You don't fucking matter. You get to go on during a commercial break. The people that help make these films actually be possible, not just the actors, because look, the actors are a big part of the film, but the people that do the lighting, the people that build the sets, the people that do all the fucking grunt work that takes. I mean, look at the credits of.
But I mean, look, the reality that they're facing here is that no one in America gives a shit about the best lighting or any of that shit, or best sound design, or even understands what the fuck that is.
No one gives a shit about this to begin with, dude.
Right.
No one fucking cares.
But I'm saying, like,
put this out on YouTube. No one gives a shit.
When it comes to the Oscars, though, the shit that anyone cares about is. What's the best picture? What's the best actor? You know, that's
all because it used to mean something. It means nothing now. It's fucking empty and shallow, and it's bullshit.
I mean, the second that I saw Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture, I'm like, no, this is a joke.
Yeah,
this is a fucking joke.
It'll win too.
It better not.
It's gonna win.
If it wins the Oscar, I mean, like it's just, I mean, it's already dead to me, but it'll be double dead at that point. Fuck that shit. So I don't know. They need to just like, how about? I mean, I saw a Ricky Gervais tweet on this that I pretty much agreed with. It's like, how about, you know, instead of holding this big ceremony, you just fucking send the people their trophies in the mail and release a public list for anyone who still gives a shit, which I think is, at this point, almost nobody. It's a fucking joke. You know, no one needs the Oscars anymore to tell them, like, this is what a good film is. We know what everyone knows what their own idea of a good film is.
That wasn't what the Oscars used to be about, though.
Yeah.
See, and that's what it became about, and that's why it's dead. The Oscars didn't used to be a preachy fucking bunch of bullshit. It was about celebrating films.
Right.
And now it's about, this is a good movie. This is a good movie. This is a bad movie. This is a, you know, and people don't want that. It turns out that people are smart enough to know a good movie from a bad movie.
You know what it also did, too? It highlighted films that might fly under the fucking radar, a lot of times did, that are actually great works of art that you should really check out. There's something that might push different ideas or a different perspective or tell a different story. That
Black
maybe
Panther doesn't need a fucking champion, you know?
It doesn't. It's a hugely popular film. And I mean, look, I'm not talking about taking the quality of it even out. You're right. It doesn't need someone to go champion Black Panther. It's the highest grossing film in North America for 2018. What else do you need?
Apparently it needs an Oscar to validate it. It doesn't even come close to deserving an Oscar, all right? It's just not.
In what way is it groundbreaking? What way did it push boundaries? What way did it... I mean,
it was, at best, a middle-of-the-road superhero film.
I mean, like, basically what we're talking about here is taking a film that if you remove the black people element from it, is just pretty much your standard middle-of-the-road Marvel Universe picture. And to say that that is anywhere near being worthy of Best Picture, I mean, bullshit.
Not only that, but it doesn't do... Like, the reason I would think that they would pick a movie like this that pushed a bunch of black actors to the forefront and made it a very black-centric film is that it humanized black people. It showed the real struggle of black people. Wakanda is the opposite of the struggle of black people.
It is.
It's the opposite of the day-to-day life of black people. So it's not even a fucking anywhere near accurate representation of your average black person. So how did it advance their fucking cause? It makes no sense to celebrate a movie just because there are black people in it. Now, if it did something for black people, if it gave us a window into the lives of black people that we hadn't seen, God, if you want to say that fucking Black Panther did that, we look in the window, we see a Techtopia. Where's that on the planet? Nowhere.
Well, there is some good news on the film front. Tommy Wiseau is directing a new movie. A shark attack film called Big Shark.
Dude, is there a fucking teaser? Whoa.
I can't wait.
Let's see. Is there a video here?
Oh, and terrorizing New Orleans, dude? What the hell?
There you go.
Okay.
All right, it's obviously a... I don't want to do this because this is obviously not an authorized
it's bootlegged
thing. But Yeah, apparently there is a new Tommy Wiseau picture coming at you. Wiseau's new movie as director and star will be Big Shark, about a shark terrorizing New Orleans.
Hell
Sweet.
yeah, dude.
Matthias explained. It
Maybe
was
we can
announced-
go see some of the fucking filming.
Maybe we
Maybe
can be
we'll get
extras, dude.
Maybe we'll get eyes on Tommy.
It was announced with a teaser before the Q&A started. The site describes the teaser starts off with Patrick, played by Tommy Wiseau, who introduces his friend Tim, Isaiah Laborde, and Georgie, Greg Sestero, to two women at a restaurant. In the next scene, one of the women calls Sestero's character a jerk, and both slap him. His buddies laugh at him, and he laughs it off. In the following scene, they are walking back to their car when they see the water at their feet running through the streets. After a cut, they are already up to their hips in water, and in the background, a large, badly animated shark consumes its victim. After the shark goes for the trio and they try to run away, the title card comes on, after which the shot of the CG shark swimming towards the camera and snapping is repeated multiple times.
Sick. This sounds like grade A, beautiful Tommy Wiseau schlock.
Yeah,
and I can't wait.
I can't wait for this. I don't
Oh,
have
go down at the bottom.
Yeah, what's up?
It's no, up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, it says the plans to shoot the film this year and premiere at the Prince Charles Cinema this September already. Oh, damn! So maybe we can go fucking see it.
Yeah, we
dude.
can go to the premiere, maybe.
Yeah, dude,
Hell
the
yeah.
premiere.
Hell
I'd hella go to the premiere of this
We just
fucking
gotta
movie.
get in contact with Tommy Wiseau, be like, dude,
We want to see
we
Big
wanna
Shark,
fucking see
Tommy.
Big Shark.
Give us a press
cast
pass.
us in Big Shark.
Well, now that
immediately.
we're big industry moguls, we got Uwe Boll. You know,
Yeah,
maybe we
man.
can get Tommy Wiseau, too.
We need to break into schlock filmmaking.
Yeah, dude, we need to be the Schlockmeister interviewers, man. I love it.
DFF, I think, no, fuck that. We need to be making these films. DFF, we need to cancel all our other shows and just start making schlock movies for people.
Yeah, buddy.
That's what I want to do. I don't care if they're good. In fact, I think it's better if they're not. Let's just make some terrible schlock movies that have the balls to do what actual good movies don't. What's Uwe doing over here?
He retweeted me.
He retweeted you
Yeah.
and just said hello.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's whatever. Anyway, that has nothing to do with
That's
anything.
Uva.
Oh, that's our Uwe.
NASA is going to knock an asteroid out of orbit in first ever planetary defense test.
I hate to do this again, but thank you, NASA.
As over the top as movies like Armageddon and Deep Impact may be, they do get across a very non-fictional message. You definitely don't want to be around if and when an actual big honkin' asteroid. Okay, I hate this article.
Big fucking asteroid.
Big honkin' asteroid smacks into the Earth. Even the tiny interlopers that crash into our planet every now and then can do some crazy and violent damage to entire cities. Fortunately, the folks at NASA are on the case, and they're preparing to launch a mission to test a new tech designed to deflect life-threatening asteroids.
Thank goodness. They need to get fucking what's his name, Bruce Willis, on the case immediately with the drill.
Just tie him to the defense system.
Yep.
And shoot
Let
him
him run it,
We're gonna have a fucking planetary defense system, guys.
because he would stay awake just to see you breathing.
Yeah, that's true. He would.
Wow. Deeply poetic, Paul.
I hope that somehow this redirects the asteroids to Earth, and we just
That would be, I gotta say, it would be a horrible tragedy and boohoo, but that would be fucking hilarious.
I know,
if
right?
they accidentally knocked this thing out of orbit and it hits a fucking
So you'll
major
see
city
here,
somewhere.
We have now directed the asteroid, of course. It'll now hit the city of London.
That'd be great if we got like a live feed of it, you know, and it's just like, okay, and the explosion will go off and we should see the asteroid shift to the left of the screen away from the Earth, and it goes off and it tumbles towards the right, and everybody's like, ah!
Well, is that as bad news?
This is no good.
Cut the feed, cut the feed.
We're all German.
Get in the bunker, get in the bunker.
Yeah, but this is pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely worth having because obviously these. I mean, it's likely that one of
Shit,
these
dude.
Ended the reign of the dinosaur.
If they fucking
so-
had this, remember Starship Troopers, dude? If they had this,
yeah,
okay,
the
whatever.
bugs never would have been able to attack.
Well, there's been a couple of, like, scientists say there's been a couple of times where an asteroid has come screaming out of the void and just kind of basically reset life on the planet. So
yeah, it's probably a good idea to invest in that not
We're going to have our fucking defense system come up, guys. We're going to fucking keep this planet safe.
Blow that asteroid to shit.
Because you know what? If anyone needs to fucking destroy the planet, it's humanity. Not some fucking asteroid.
Yeah.
Look, we're here fucking first, bitch.
Yeah.
Stay away.
You've just been floating in space. You're a Johnny-come-lately to this. We've been trying to fuck this planet for fucking 30,000 years, and we're not about to let you jump the line, okay?
It is time to wipe your asteroid. Yeah. All right, so Facebook removes 22 more pages connected to conspiracy theorist Alex Jones
Total collusion.
and InfoWars.
This is total collusion.
Facebook on Tuesday removed 22 pages connected to conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and his fringe right-wing website InfoWars. The move came as part of a broader effort by Facebook to enforce its recently updated recidivism policy. 89 pages in total were unpublished Tuesday afternoon as part of the crackdown, a Facebook spokesperson told CNN Business. We use a broad set of signals to determine if the blah blah blah.
Bullshit.
Blah, blah.
Look, this is a total PR move. Snopes and the Associated Press fact checkers were actually working with Facebook because obviously the spread of fake news and stuff, and they stopped working with Facebook for obvious reasons. Facebook is not exactly the most ethical company, as if you see their portrayal in the media, and now of course they're like, oh shit, we're getting a lot of flack for content like this, so now they have to let's just go ahead and crack down on Alex Jones and InfoWars. A very easy target for them to point out, ooh, crazy guy, let's take him off.
But I love deplatforming, you know. I love the idea that, you know, because a guy says crazy and outlandish things that we should be protected from listening to him. You know, so thank you to the powers that be, to Facebook, to Twitter, to all of the censorship boards across this great land for protecting my little babe-in-the-woods mind that can't fucking filter bullshit from reality. Thank you so much, Facebook, for treating me like a fucking intellectual toddler. I really appreciate it, bro.
But isn't the devil's advocate position, if you go look at things like anti-vaxxers, and a lot of people are conspiracy theorists themselves, or people that believe this shit, it's like they learn this shit from these people. So can't you say that they are doing some harm?
Those people are
because they believe, you know,
there's going to be
they believe a lot
like
of things based on no information. They trust Alex Jones as a person.
It's just a bad precedent because you know what, dude? There's always going to be retards.
There's always
going to
be an Alex
anything.
Jones. There's always going to be there's always going to be people who are anti-vaccine or anti-this or anti-that. And look, they're always going to congregate somewhere. All you're doing, you take down Alex Jones, you take down a few people like him. All you're going to do is push them on the alternate platforms, make alternate platforms more popular, give opportunities for new, maybe even crazier or more irresponsible people than Alex Jones.
You're arguing kind of like for the Hydra thing. You're saying basically it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if
you chop off one head, two more grow.
It doesn't matter.
That's why, for me, the free, open marketplace of ideas is really the only fucking solution to this. If he wants to talk crazy shit, and if he says something that's libelous or slanderous or it incites violence and breaks the law, obviously, yes. But I'm talking about him just talking crazy shit about Obama being a demon and fucking literal hobgoblins running around running the government and frogs turning gay and all of this bullshit. Like, as crazy and silly and insipid and disinformational as it might be, I believe he's got the right to say it if I've got the right to say anything.
Right.
One would have to believe that.
Infringing on his rights is, it's only a few steps away from infringing on ours or yours.
It infringes
or
on everyone's rights because if they can deplatform Alex Jones or whoever else they want, then why can't they deplatform?
And to make it clear, I don't support this dude like.
No, I don't support his beliefs.
Sandy hoaxing all those families and causing them grief and shit.
If you watch Fahrenheit 11/9, I think Michael Moore titles him correctly, supplement salesman.
It's just like I forgot what I was gonna say. Whatever.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Well, you started fucking talking over my fucking brilliant
TJ.
point with your stupid nonsense.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna regurgitate something Michael Moore said. Fuck you, Scotty, you sack of shit. Anyway, we'll have more.
You're a very angry guy, TJ. You're very angry, TJ.
We'll have more Alex Jones coming up a little later. Sheriff's use of courtroom camera to view jurors' notebook, lawyers' notes. sparks dismissal of criminal case.
The deck isn't stacked enough against you.
Charges were thrown out in a San Juan assault case after it was revealed that the county sheriff had been using the court security camera to focus on defense notes and a juror's notebook. What a piece of fucking garbage.
Yep.
Some defense attorneys in San Juan County worry that Sheriff Ron Krebs has a finger on the scales of justice after learning he used a courtroom security camera to surreptitiously zoom in on defense documents and a juror's notebook during a criminal trial last week.
I've got to tell you, dude, and a lot of people might not realize this, but the notes that jury takes are protected like they're fucking diamonds and gold. You are not allowed to leave the courtroom with your own notebook. It's collected and locked in a lockbox by a fucking bailiff and taken to a secure room and given back to you only when the trial starts. The notes that you take would be so fucking useful to the defense or to the prosecution, depending on the case.
You know where the jury's head is at.
Exactly. So you know what to hammer.
No one is supposed to have that advantage in a courtroom setting.
Exactly. And so this is a huge breach of the public trust to be spying on not only lawyers' notes, which is horrible in its own right, but a juror's notebook. This is like, yeah, absolutely, this case needs to be thrown out. In addition, the sheriff needs to be thrown out, and anybody that facilitated this.
The sheriff needs to be thrown out of office immediately. The sheriff, I don't know if there's criminal charges that can be brought against him, but if there are, they should be.
Anybody that benefited from that information should also be disbarred.
Well, I mean, if they knew where the information, if they knew that
here's a juror's notebook.
Well, I mean, it might not necessarily be presented as like, here's some, whatever. You might benefit from it without actually knowing what had happened or what information or whatever.
I don't know.
There's probably I mean, like, you got.
How do you present, like, here's what juror number 13 is thinking?
This is a fucking.
Without
you
knowing
can just be like, I got a gut feeling that this juror
this
thinks
is a shift
this
away,
or whatever.
further away from even a fair
There's
trial.
plausible deniability there, at least.
Hey there, Frankie No-Nose. I got a gut feeling the Colts are going to beat the... You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Come on.
Well, I mean, that's why you say, there's plausible deniability there, at least.
Well, this almost turns into a fucking kangaroo court at that point. Like, they have an advantage. They know exactly what the defense is thinking. They know what notes the attorneys are taking. They have all this information. They're stacking the deck further and further in the favor of the state or the government who is fucking prosecuting you.
I don't see anything in this article about this guy being punished for this either, so apparently that has not happened or it's not been written about.
Well, can you imagine if they were spying on the state's case against them? Oh, we hired private investigators to seek out what they were doing and break into offices and try to install spy cameras and recording devices surreptitiously to hear what they were saying about the case.
Yeah, that's totally
I mean,
bullshit.
can you imagine? You would be in fucking prison so quick, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But, the government does it. Oh, well, I mean, this case has been dismissed. How does that make anyone feel knowing that, the sheriff was just violating people's civil rights and a right to a fair trial?
You really want to fucking have a heart attack about how fucked up our justice system is? When I served on that jury, we were given explicit instructions never to discuss the case with one another.
I'm sure it happened all the time.
It happened the first day. There was an enclave of people. I never did it because I didn't want to get busted. I didn't want somebody to overhear me. But there was an enclave of people on that jury that had their minds made up on day 2 of that fucking trial.
Yep.
2.
Yeah, that's no good.
And you're kind of just like, all right. Well,
unbelievable, man.
Shouldn't we hear out everyone in the case and then make a decision?
It was a 6-month-long trial, and they had their minds made up on day 2.
That's insane.
So I mean, it's basically just going through the motions after that point.
You're fucked. Don't ever get sued. That's all I got to say. Don't ever do anything that takes you to court because your chances of getting a fair trial are slim to none.
Nim to slun. Aw, snap. There's no story here, I guess. Bitcoin investors may be out $190 million after the only guy with the password dies, firm says.
Whoopsie daisy.
Imagine if your bank froze your savings account because the only person with the combination to the vault had died. Investors in a Canadian cryptocurrency exchange are in a similar fix after the only person with the password to accounts valued at $190 million in US dollars died unexpectedly in India in December, CoinDesk reported. Gerald Cotton, CEO and co-founder of Quadriga CX, died of complications from Crohn's disease December 9th while traveling in India to set up an orphanage, the firm wrote January 14th on Facebook. In a filing Thursday for creditor protection with the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia, Jennifer Robertson, Cotton's widow, said his death left the company unable to access the bulk of its cryptocurrency funds.
So like, what did he get? What did they call it? He died unexpectedly from what?
Crohn's disease.
Isn't that like irritable bowel?
It's like an intestinal issue.
Yeah, that's like when that's basically when your lower intestine is like rotting inside your body and shit.
But it sounds like he's traveling the world and setting up orphanages. It sounds like this was a dude that was not expecting to die anytime soon.
Right.
No.
So obviously it kind of came out of fucking nowhere.
Right.
But I mean, like, I don't know what sort of person makes, like, especially when you're talking about accounts of valued at $190 million,
and have no sort of redundancy or contingency plan,
to have it totally contingent upon you being alive and having your memory
or your.
I mean,
effects,
it's just very insanely poor planning.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, there's you don't see that sort of irresponsibility. Like they said, I mean, it'd be like, oh, the bank manager died, so now we don't have the combination of the vault, and
this just
no one
further
can get their money out anymore.
This just further hurts the credibility of blockchain technology and of Bitcoin
and
because
crypto coins,
and the cryptocurrency as a whole, because people think like, oh wow, I can lose out on $1 million. Say I have $1 million in Bitcoin. That's awesome. I fucking was lucky. I bought it when it was low, and it's like, oh, you'll never get that money.
I mean, there is a chance that
they've just said. I read another article. I didn't pull it, but there's another article about Bitcoin that said that Bitcoin now costs more to mine than it's actually worth. So you actually spend more money trying to get to mine the coins than you would,
Spending.
Well, obviously the expectation is the price will eventually rise again. So people are probably still doing it under the hopes of
maybe. I mean, it's
with shit like this is a pretty big blow.
But you know what? I mean, ultimately, let's say the price goes down further and further, then eventually people there might be another boom again. There might be a bull market. A bunch of people get convinced that this or some other cryptocurrency is going to be the next big thing. And, I think it's kind of foolish to dismiss cryptocurrency outright and say there's never going to be a bull run again, but there probably is going to be.
You know what they
one.
need to do? Hire an inception team to get this dude's son and have him, through, his repressed memories of his father, come up with the password.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
You don't think so?
Let's try it, dude.
Fucking naysayer.
I mean, it's $190 million. How fucking difficult is it, dude? Come on, Inception.
I don't know. Billionaire Howard Schultz is very upset you're calling him a billionaire.
It's an accurate description.
Whoopsie daisy.
Oh, dude, I love the slut ever. What? Okay. Anyway. Slut ever. Oh, it's so hot. Anyway. So one thing that's interesting about this Howard Schultz guy is they did some initial polling on how people perceived him. Likability among Democrats, 4%. Likability among independents, 4%.
Uh-oh.
Likability among Republicans, 4%. So no one likes him. And there's a big 40 to 50% negative in each of those categories, and then the rest of people didn't even know who the fuck he was.
Like,
never heard of him. So, things are not shaping up so great for his presidential run or his ambitions to be president, apparently, as a centrist, I suppose. Anyway, get Melania Trump on the horn. Someone's been bullying Howard Schultz by calling him a billionaire. In an interview with CNBC last week, the former Starbucks CEO appeared to take personal offense to being described as a billionaire. He said that people should use the softer people of wealth or people of means to describe his class.
What? Fuck you.
I'm a person of means. Person of wealth.
I am a person of wealth, sir.
Oh my God. This is like fat people wanting to be called people of size.
Oh no, the poor billionaire class.
It's like, eat a dick, you
No
rich
longer
cunt.
will us billionaires, I'm sorry, no longer will us people of wealth be lambasted and oppressed.
Like, does he really think that the negative perception amongst an increasingly fucking torn apart country of billionaires is going to be fixed by softening the language?
I fucking hate billionaires.
Oh,
But
here's
you know
who's
what I
saying
like?
that, though.
People
of wealth, though.
I like those guys.
Let's look at his whiny response here. I guess there's a video here.
All right.
I'm a person of wealth.
The author of Winner Takes All sent in a question. It said, do you agree that billionaires have too much power in American public life? And it gets at the issue that AOC has been talking about. It gets at the issue that Elizabeth Warren's been talking about. It gets at...
Yeah, the moniker billionaire now has become the catchphrase. I would rephrase that, and I would say that people of means have been able to leverage.
Wow. Fuck this
guy.
So what you're saying is yes.
All right, so you know what? I want the hottest fucking Starbucks drink to just be poured into this guy's fucking eyeballs at this point.
He's an idiot.
What a shitbag. Like, they ask you a fucking direct question. Do billionaires have too much power? And your first response is like, well, I want to just not even address that at first and just kind of talk about the language that you're using, because billionaires it's like a derogatory term at this point. And I prefer to identify as a person of means.
Dude, it's kind of hard for me to see him like fail so hard politically, because I worked for his company for so long, and he was like Jesus in that company. Like he
ain't Jesus.
Say what you want
more
about Howard Schultz as a politician, but he can run a fucking coffee company. When that dude left Starbucks, it went to shit immediately, and then when he came back, it came back. So he clearly knows how to do that. But this, nobody wants this.
I don't.
Yeah, abort. Bad idea.
Interest in ways that are unfair. And I think that speaks to the inequality. But it also directly speaks to the special interests that are paid for by people of wealth and corporations who are looking for influence. And they have such unbelievable influence on the politicians who are steeped
So
in
you're
the
saying you don't
ideology
have
of
that?
both parties.
Right.
And once again,
I mean,
I go
it's
back
just
to
this falls so fucking
if I
flat.
should run for president, I am not in bed with any party.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna be the one lone centrist independent. Come on. Dude.
I mean, he's doing the same sales pitch Trump did of like, I got my own money. I ain't bought and paid for by nobody.
Yeah, you are gonna be for sale because you're gonna fucking represent the billionaire class. That's who you're for sale for, and your fucking cronies and all your buddies. And all you're gonna do is give a bunch of gifts to fucking corporate America. No thanks. You've already done that with Donald Trump. It doesn't fucking work. No one likes you. Walk off stage.
You know
Exit
what?
stage left.
He has a kind of Mark Zuckerberg aura about him in the way that he speaks and shit, that I think that might lend to the unlikability of him. He just doesn't sound like a person that you could really empathize with anybody that's normal. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, I don't like him. And I guess I'm not alone. It seems like most people don't. Anyway, I guess that we have no choice but to cover the State of the Union that happened yesterday. So, President, what is this? Get out of there. President Trump used the State of the Union to call for an end to investigations. So did Nixon. So this is Trump is Nixon. President Donald Trump called for the investigations against him to be brought to an end during his State of the Union speech on Tuesday, though the president did not mention Robert Mueller by name. Even as the special counsel's probe into the Russian involvement in the 2016 presidential election continues, Trump singled out ridiculous and partisan investigations and warned that they could harm the economic resurgence. So basically now, just like he held 800,000 people's jobs hostage to get his wall, now he's holding the entire U.S. economy hostage to try to get Mueller to drop the investigation.
TJ, more people getting hired now than ever. So many jobs. Look, those 800,000 people all probably could have found jobs.
An economic miracle is taking place in the United States. And the only thing that can stop it are the foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations, Trump said.
No, he didn't. Trump's speechwriter said. Trump read. They should have said.
If there is going to be peace and legislation, there cannot be war and investigation. Yeah, man, fuck that. Fuck investigating shit.
Man,
yeah, corruption is okay. No big deal.
It just disgusts me that we have these politicians that don't even write their own fucking speeches, man. Across the board. We can't get a direct answer to a question because like this immediately doesn't sound like Donald Trump, and the fact that this is going to be quoted to him forever, this motherfucker could not string together one of these sentences.
All right, so let's translate it to how he'd actually say it, because he said an economic miracle is taking place in the United States. He'd be
listen,
jobs.
People are telling me everywhere. The economy.
Best that they've ever seen. Best, the greatest. It's beyond great. The economy, best that we've ever seen. It's a miracle, really. If you don't mind me saying so, if the atheists on the left are okay with me invoking a term, miracle.
And the only thing that
that was Bernie Sanders.
I know it started to sound like Bernie.
the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, and ridiculous partisan invest. I mean, like, yeah, that's not how Trump talks. Everyone knows that's not how he talks. Trump talks in monosyllabic little bursts.
Listen,
of like
wrong.
These wars, very bad. These investigations, very bad.
even worse than the wars.
Terrible, horrible investigations.
Horrible. I like he does a lot of repetition in his
Yeah.
speech too. It's like, it's very bad. These are bad people. They're bad. I
Bad.
know bad dudes. I've met some bad dudes, and these are some bad dudes. You know, like, it's shit like that. He doesn't fucking, an economic miracle is taking place in the United States.
And it
it's
is
a bright
fomented
new
in the
day.
souls of Americans a deep desire to pursue the capitalistic interest that drives us all to this day.
It's like, why are we listening to a speech that sounds like fucking Roosevelt would have read it? Coming out of this idiot.
Poll stunners. Both CBS and CNN polls. 76% of viewers approve President Trump's State of the Union speech. CBS, 72% approve his immigration ideas.
Poll stunners.
So, first of all, there is a bias here of obviously more Republicans are watching this than Democrats.
Of course.
First of all. But, another thing is, it's pretty easy to make a great speech when, one, expectations about you are so low that the fact that you can even utter a fucking complete sentence is impressive to people.
Right.
Second of all, it's also easy to make a great speech when you just lie your ass off to low information voters who don't know any better and just say, the economy's great. The economy's great. All any of those people would have to do is go walk outside. Go look at their own jobs and their own personal situations and the personal situations of everyone they know, and they would know instantly that this idea that the economy is great is bullshit.
They don't have to do that. They can sit at their computer and just type in income inequality. They can type in and then do a search on a number of issues that are economic indicators, and some may be positive. Okay, there's a lot of jobs being added to the economy, but how well do those jobs pay? I mean, there's a lot more to it to make a determination about these claims than to simply just say, oh, well, the president said it, so it must be true. That's stupid, and that's small-minded, and people should just listen to a singular speech and have that inform anything. It's such a disingenuous question to even be asked to begin with. Oh, do you approve the speech? What does it matter if they approve the speech? What about the substance of the speech? What about what was said in the speech?
So here's the breakdown by party of people who watch. Republicans, 97% like the speech. Democrats, 30%. Independents, 82%.
Oh, well, how relevant? What is it? Okay, so Trump made a good speech. So fucking what?
I tried to watch the speech. I didn't think it was good.
I watched some excerpts of it.
It was stilted. It was low energy. It was full of fucking deceit and deception.
It didn't sound like Trump at all because it wasn't.
I mean, it's just bullshit.
It was teleprompter Trump.
Yep.
Yeah, the Trump prompter.
We've
came
seen
out.
Trump talk off the cuff, and this isn't how Trump talks, and this isn't Trump. This is a fucking PR
That's because
speech.
Trump is not a skilled enough politician to actually make a cogent argument
Now,
in his own words.
Rick Wiles, my favorite, had some predictions about what was going to happen during the State of the Union address. And I want you guys to check out Rick's awesome fucking predictions about the State of the Union address. I think you're going to really enjoy
Oh, I'm sure.
what he had to say. And let me just say that I'll let you judge whether or not his predictions came true or not.
Okay, fair enough.
President Trump most likely is going to dramatically turn and face Nancy Pelosi. He's going to put his hand out and say, Speaker Pelosi, let's work together. He's going to offer her something. She's going to spurn it. She knows that's coming. She knows the way he operates. He wants a dramatic moment where he's in charge. So then she is going to have her counter move, which is the disruptors. The disruptors will then spoil the photo optics here of this speech, because all the attention now will be the American people have rebelled against President Trump. There's an uprising in the House. That's what world headlines will say. Uprising in the House. President's speech disrupted. Police called in to remove protesters.
You actually think it would go that far, where the Capitol Police would be dragging people out?
I think the Democrats are capable of doing anything right now. They're not sane, civilized people. This is not the Democratic Party of Harry Truman.
I'm supposed to listen to these guys, but I'm sorry. None of these guys have, the three of them have a fucking suit between them that actually fucking fits. So, I mean, like, I'm supposed to look to you as some authority on, like, what's going on in the political status of our country, but it's like, none of you have ever visited a fucking tailor in your life? I mean, come the fuck on here.
I don't know, dude. None of this happened.
So Nancy Pelosi... Did Trump turn to Nancy Pelosi and extend his hand and be like, join me, Pelosi?
I didn't see it.
Never
Join
happened.
the dark side.
There was never a cacophony and a revolt against Trump during the speech.
No.
At least I didn't see it covered in the press.
But I'm sure that Rick Wiles will correct the record on the next one and say
but you know what?
How wrong he was.
We're only getting started on his predictions.
Oh, really?
Because they go further.
Party of Karl Marx.
Really, it's the party of
They're
Karl
way
Marx
past
now.
socialism.
This is communist revolutionaries, okay?
Ooh.
And the communists always shock the public because the public doesn't know how to act to radicalism. They don't know what to do with it.
Dude, we're back to communism?
They don't know what to do with it, all right? So they just sit there shell-shocked if somebody did something like that.
And whose fault will it be?
Be President Trump for dividing the nation.
Right.
All right? The media will say he's divided the nation. He caused this uproar. He came into the House with this divisive, racist speech. He confronted the House Speaker, all right, and embarrassed her, and then her supporters stood up in defense of her. That's how it will be sold, okay? Democrats, they think through all these moves, okay? But then, I think President Trump then has something. He's going to have his trump card. I think he's going to pull a document out of his pocket and say, all right, this is the way you want to behave.
I've got a rocket in my pocket.
And he's going to read a declaration of national emergency and sign it. And at that moment, basically America...
He is appointed dictator for life of the United States.
Hold on, dude. Wait.
Hurrah!
Don't talk over the last bit.
And at that moment, basically America goes into martial law.
So martial law was going to happen.
So the prediction is... Pelosi offered his hand. She spurns it. The Democrats rise up against Trump. They're removed by the Capitol Police. The whole country goes crazy, and Trump declares martial law.
Dude,
and that's what this guy's going for.
We fucking get the beginning, and the history books will fucking know the beginning of the American Empire, dude. The fucking Republic has fallen. It is now time for the American Empire. Look, the Romans tried it, and look how much their territory expanded. Look what things they did. I mean, look, yeah, they eventually fell, but you know what? We've learned from their mistakes. The American Empire is going to thrive, dude.
Yeah.
I, for one, welcome Trump fucking saying, look, let's just deal with all this. I'm now your dictator for life. And then we can end all pretense. I mean, it's probably the last episode we're actually even allowed to criticize Trump when you think about it.
Yeah. By the time we make the next episode, we'll have to defer to Trump because he'll come and get us and throw us in the gulags if we talk shit.
The glorious leader, do we have to have Trump pictures in every room of our house in a strategic spot so we can, bow before Trump?
I just hope it's nowhere near where I have to fuck because I don't know.
Oh, no, dude. Trump's going to be in front and center in your bedroom, dude.
Oh, man.
I know that this is an unrelated...
and no fucking with the lights off, Paul. You're going to have to look at Trump's face as you do it.
This is an unrelated story. It has nothing to do with Rick Wiles, but I did post on my Twitter that... This stuff about Mercedes Carrera, I was like, bad news for anyone who ever jerked off to Mercedes Carrera. And let me just go ahead and put her picture back up for a second. So I posted on my Twitter, bad news for anyone who ever jerked off to Mercedes Carrera, and I linked an article from Right Wing Watch about what she's been accused of and shit. And there's already this guy. I won't even mention his Twitter handle or whatever because it doesn't deserve it, but... Apparently, the evidence, quote unquote, is that a porn star has a room set up to record porn, and a pro-gun conservative has 2 guns in a state where they are legal if registered. They don't specify if they are unregistered. Also, meth. No mention of pipes, so possibly planted. Pretty quote-unquote solid.
Did he miss the victim who was able to walk through the house and corroborate and find corroborating things from the victim's
All
story?
irrelevant. All fake.
Did he miss also that having drugs, like Scotty pointed out, and a gun is a separate charge?
Well, those drugs were
whether
probably,
it's registered
those were
or
probably
not.
planted, dude. Probably planted them on her. And also,
citation
they
needed.
probably made her do them for months and months to make her look like this.
Did they
too.
shove her face in a big bowl of it and make her fucking just inhale it for days on end?
I just love that already.
How about we wait until there's evidence?
Already there's people in denial just going like, it's all lies.
Hey, look, if they get a trial and all the evidence comes out and she's exonerated, I'll be the first one to say, well, I guess there wasn't enough evidence to convict her. There was a reason.
And maybe that'll be the case. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, I am all for people having a fair trial, if that's possible in this country, as we saw, maybe not. You know, so
that's true.
Look, I'll definitely say, look, maybe there is something more to the story and it should be investigated, but at this time, what does he have to actually suggest as far as evidence, not just his personal conjecture or belief?
All right.
And I don't think there's anything, so fuck him.
Just a little addendum on something I saw in that story, but stupid snap shit. So there was you guys catch a whiff of this controversy?
Yep.
The controversy over Bernie Sanders' State of the Union response explained. All right, so here's I won't bother reading all this bullshit. We'll just get down to some of these responses, but basically,
the idiot reactions.
Stacey Abrams was the official person chosen to do the Democratic Party's, official response.
Okay.
Fine. Good for her.
She was the corporate chill's choice. Okay,
right. And
fine.
so she's a black woman. And
so
Bernie Sanders, for the last 3 years, has done his own State of the Union response.
Never been a problem before this.
It's never been an issue. It's not like he co-opted her time or even went on at the same time as her. He actually waited till after her speech had been made before he went on and made his speech on Facebook and some other live streaming platforms. But apparently, a lot of people who are, still don't like Bernie for whatever reason because they wanted Hillary or whatever the fuck, are spinning it like this. Bernie Sanders is doing his State of the Union response to speak to all the white people who are uncomfortable watching Stacey Abrams' State of the Union response.
So my personal opinion is now a fact. Thank you, Ragnarok Lobster. Thank you for that brilliant insight. One, that was done afterwards, and two, why were they uncomfortable?
Yeah, it's not like Stacey Abrams took to the airwaves and then the screen went to static and then Bernie interrupted the feed like,
we are interrupting this broadcast. White people need to hear the truth too. And I know that you're uncomfortable watching a darkie.
Yeah, that sounds like Bernie to me. So Bernie said Stacey Abrams is a great choice. He's basically trying to diffuse it by being like, yeah, that's great, but I'm going to do my own thing too.
But she should be able to. Who cares?
And then this person's like, this is Mark Lamont Hill. This is a bad move, especially assuming he's going to run. It only reinforces the idea that Bernie is not serious about representing the interests of the Democratic Party. It also reads as racially tone deaf as Stacey Abrams becomes the first black woman to deliver the response.
So that's just opinion.
Nothing about him doing his own response stops her from doing the response.
Right.
By the way, she's a fucking puppet. She's a fucking mouthpiece for the Democratic Party.
Furthermore, I don't give a fuck about the interest of the Democratic Party. You're a fucking
the Democratic Party. What about suck a fucking dick?
What about the American fucking people who are supposed to actually elect somebody to office? And now it's so funny now with Bernie Sanders that at every turn there's just smearing him and attacking him. Oh,
and
he's such
Kamala Harris did her own response too, by the way, or she did a.
Oh, but that's okay.
She did she did her own. I mean, like lots of politicians put out responses. Okay, and everyone understands Stacey Abrams or whatever is the official responder.
Can we just admit that
that's fine?
Can we admit at this point in this country we just don't really give a shit about democracy, and it's just at every turn it's just eliminate your opponent, and at every turn eliminate your opponent before they're even in the race. So it's not let's put all these people up and let's have people have a vote and decide for themselves, and let's make a decision. No, it's like they don't even want that process. It's like way before it's even begun. It's like, nope, Bernie Sanders should not run. That's why he's a piece of shit. Let's just hammer him in the media for the next 2 to 3 years so no one wants to vote for him. So they'll vote for this fucking corporate party shell that doesn't give a fuck about this country, that cares more about the party than the fucking people.
Here's one more. Why try to upstage Stacey Abrams? Please get a clue at Bernie Sanders, assuming you're going to run for president or even if you're not. So basically just like, how dare you also try to... like, I guarantee you the substance of her speech and the substance of Bernie's speech are totally different. I saw his. I didn't see hers because I'm white, so of course I was uncomfortable watching a black woman speak. I mean, it's just beyond my capacity to comprehend. Or either that or I just didn't want to hear from the corporatist fucking hack Democrat Party official narrative. But whatever, that's fine. Why would we want a robust array of different points of view when we could just have Trump versus this bitch and that's it? Why would we want other opinions?
Well,
Not me. I don't want that.
I hate to race bait or whatever here, but this has to do with her being black. If this was anybody else, this wouldn't have been an issue. But the fact that she's black and then a white dude came along. See, it's not enough. Like, you would think black people who have been pushing for equality would celebrate the fact that a black woman from the Democratic Party.
No, they got to be mad still. They got to figure out some way to still be mad.
They've got to find some reason to be offended. It's not enough to just have her deliver it. Now nobody else can deliver it so that they don't trample her message. Even though that's never been given to any of the other people that have offered these State of the Union speeches in the past. It's never even been brought up as an issue. All of a sudden, because a black woman's delivering it, now nobody else can speak. Fuck you. Fuck that. That type of thinking undermines your very fucking purpose and makes people angry at you.
And another thing I've seen recently, and I've talked about it before, I didn't pull out the article I meant to, but there's been a bunch of attacks by the mainstream media against Bernie Sanders and also against Tulsi Gabbard, who they're also very scared of, on the issues of, their Russian mouthpieces, basically.
Oh, look. And this
the
news
Russia
story
thing is spilled over to the progressive Democrats.
But look at this news story. Where's the controversy here? A bunch of whiners on Twitter yet again.
Yep.
The outrage app goes, what did a bunch of whiny fucks on Twitter have to say? It's racism! Oh, what a fucking brilliant, bright idea now.
The best part about this is that the white knights and people that show up to defend this woman who gave this speech actually make her look weak. Because it makes it seem like her speech didn't stand on its two legs, that it couldn't stand amongst a sea of robust discussion about this, that it needed to be spotlighted, that she needs extra help to be spotlighted, that she can't stand on her own two legs as a woman and deliver a speech. That's really what it comes off like.
Or as a person. I mean, why do we keep looking at superficial shit about people and saying that informs anything about her speech? I want to hear her speech. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the ideas and the substance behind that. And I understand there's some people that don't give a shit. It's like, she's black. That's all I care about. I don't like her.
I didn't watch Trump's speech. I didn't watch her speech.
No, but I'm saying
I did catch Bernie's speech.
But I'm saying if you want to listen to someone, listen to their ideas. Why the fuck are we making it just old white dude came along and mansplained and fucking just tried to steal her spotlight? That wasn't what he was trying to do. He's done this for years. There's already a precedent's been set that he does this.
It just makes the person that you're trying to defend seem like their ideas don't stand on their own, and they need a bunch of people tamping down any other fucking contrary opinion.
I haven't heard. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I mean, maybe that is true because I haven't seen anyone talking about her speech. The only capacity I've seen her speech discussed is this controversy with against Bernie's speech. It doesn't. I haven't heard anything about her. Maybe it was good. I haven't heard anything about it though. It didn't seem like it made any waves or ripples or anything.
I haven't seen any quotes.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone going around quoting it. I haven't. Seen
even this article. I mean, does it quote her?
Yeah, scroll down.
Let's see.
Is there anything that is said?
No.
So this article about how important
more about
this speech
Twitter,
was,
blah 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 blah, etc. Martin Luther King, etc. Whatever. No, they don't talk about her speech. It's just about Bernie. It's just about Bernie co-opted her, or did he? But nothing about her actual speech. Because maybe it wasn't that great. Maybe it wasn't very impressive. I doubt it was, because I don't really think that messages that come from this is the official position of the Democratic Party. They're always dog shit. There are people within the Democratic Party that I think have some sense of being genuine or whatever, but it's the leadership. No, not at all, not at all. So I don't know, another bullshit fake controversy. Here's good news. Whatever you paid to watch Netflix last month was more than it paid in income tax all year. $0.
This will surprise nobody.
Netflix posted its largest ever U.S. profit in 2018, $845 million. That's profit, not revenue. That's just profit. on which it didn't pay a dime in federal or state income taxes.
Oh, so I guess you got money back.
In fact, the streaming giant received a $22 million return. How do you get a return when you didn't even pay anything?
They probably get film credits and stuff, I'm assuming.
So, once again, you know, I love that we live in a country where if you even suggest that we raise taxes on the rich or corporations, people are like, oh, you're punishing success. You're punishing success. Meanwhile, the average middle-class family is paying more in taxes than Netflix. GE did this shit a few years back, too. $0 in taxes.
The oil companies do it as well.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
It's all corporate welfare, dude.
So many of these fucking companies, they're either getting money from the government or they're paying nothing to the government. And then if anyone even talks about taxing, it's like, oh, what a ridiculous, unfair standard.
They'll just move the money overseas and then we won't see any of the money. It's like we already don't. So what does it matter?
So here's Matthew Gardner, ITEP senior fellow. I don't know what's ITEP. Do you know what that is, Scotty?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Oh, it says it in the next sentence below.
Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. Okay. When hugely profitable corporations avoid tax, that means smaller businesses and working families must make up the difference.
That's fine.
No shit, Sherlock. In other words, business as usual in the good old U.S. of A. Right?
Yep.
So they pay no taxes. No taxes. $845 million in profits. And at the end of the day, the government doesn't say, hey, pay your tax bill so we can support this fucking country's social safety net and roads and infrastructure and shit.
Actually, they say, here's your $22 million back.
Yeah,
sorry.
Here's your $22 million from us.
Yeah.
On the government, on the taxpayers. Here you go. The taxpayers, aside from us actually paying for Netflix membership, some of our tax dollars are going to subsidize Netflix, a company that made $145 million fucking dollars in profit last year.
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
Yeah, since my taxes are subsidizing it, shouldn't I have free access to it?
Yeah.
Let's see how those profits are next year when you fucking give it to everybody who's paying for it.
Fuck. I just can't. I mean, these kind of stories are the most flabbergasting, and they're the ones that convince me the most, other than maybe some of the climate stories, that there is just no fucking hope.
I used to get super heated about shit like this, and you know me, I'll get heated about shit, but I'm not right now.
Right.
I don't even care anymore. This is such par for the course now. The business class in this country lives by a different set of rules than everybody else does.
Like no set of rules.
And, endless amounts of these stories come out, and people rant and rave, but nothing ever changes.
But you know what the rule is? That you can fuck anyone beneath you. But if you try to fuck someone in our group, that's going to go...
Well, that's always the rule.
Bernie Madoff. Oh, you fucked over rich people? I'm sorry. Federal prison
rolls downhill.
Yeah, but if it's us, if it's the American taxpayer, we're getting fucked, dude.
So you guys remember Nick Sandman, right? The fucking Catholic, Covington Catholic teen who wore the MAGA hat.
Right.
And for some reason, everyone was talking about it for like fucking a week and a half or so. Well, now he is suing 54 news outlets, lawmakers, and celebrities.
Basically, everybody in the country is getting
right.
sued.
Anybody who talked bad about him is getting sued.
We're going to sue the school. We're going to sue the parents.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking lawyer from Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Last month's incident involving the boys from I don't care, blah, blah, blah. We all know about that. Attorneys for Covington under Junior Nick Salmon made a splash this week when they sent letters to 54 news outlets, lawmakers, celebrities, media figures, and Catholic institutions asking them to preserve information related to the episode and warning of a possible lawsuit. There was a rush by the media to believe what it wanted to believe versus what actually happened. Attorney Todd McMurdy told the Cincinnati Enquirer, libel and defamation cases are notoriously difficult to win, but Mr. McMurdy is working with famed attorney L. Lynn Wood of Atlanta, who represented the family of 1996 murder victim JonBenet Ramsey, as well as Richard Jewell, the falsely accused Olympic Park bomber. I think the whole fighting back part benefits Sandman in some way to restore his reputation in the court of public opinion as well as in the court of law. Blah, 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 blah. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I think he should be able to sue these, especially the large news outlets that were running these disgusting little brats without doing their due diligence. Absolutely.
That's what none of them do.
It's when it comes to saying they're disgusting brats or whatever, I don't see any way you could sue for that. That's an opinion. But
racists.
They extrapolate so far.
But they said they made a number of claims that were just completely false about
demonstrably false,
chanting certain racist slogans that were never chanted, that were never any video evidence of.
And the real racists that were there, that the confirmed racists, the black Israelites,
got a total pass.
Or just there's just this group that just talks about these issues, and it's just this very generic way, because religion, of course, always gets a pass in this country.
Dude, people were trying to bait me with this, and it stunk like shit from the get-go. The day after this happened, I did a ideology, and I had a bunch of people going like, hey, what do you think of that crazy racist kid fucking with that Indian guy? Did you see that? And I'd seen some cursory shit about it.
Yeah.
But I knew right away. I was just like...
Yeah, I was like you, dude. When I saw that shit break, I'm like, I am not fucking touching this with a 10-foot pole, because... I don't know how this is going to develop, but the people who are rushing to judgment and trying to take a side based on nothing more than a fucking hat are, I mean, like, you're putting yourself in a real vulnerable fucking position, and it just is demonstrated here.
Yeah, here it is.
By these potential impending lawsuits. I'm not a big fan of these kind of lawsuits. I personally... I don't know. I don't know what I'd do in his position. Maybe I would consider them, but
you might want to sue. I mean, if your fucking whole reputation and name had been dragged through the mud, now you're just a horrible racist when you ain't.
I actually tweeted this fucking Hitchens quote a while ago, but it's so perfect. There is, especially in the American media, a deep belief that insincerity is better than no sincerity at all, and that's just like that to me is the story here. It doesn't fucking matter what the truth is. It doesn't matter what actually happened. It's what can we fucking clip together, what can we show, what narrative can we push, and then let's just run with that to get a bunch of people behind this and go, oh my god, let's talk about this on Twitter, let's talk about this everywhere, let's pump up these CNN stories, let's pump up all this shit. And then of course it turns out to be yet again a fucking paper tiger, an illusion, a fucking house of cards. There's nothing there, there's no substance, and yet again it's just been a bunch of suckers that got fucking fooled by the mainstream media for the 10 millionth fucking time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Like the article notes, libel shit is always, I mean, especially in America where we have freedom of speech enshrined in the Constitution.
Libel and slander and shit should be notoriously hard to prosecute.
But in this case, maybe there's a case.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know.
It'll be up to a judge and a jury.
So more Alex Jones stuff. Alex Jones and Joe Rogan have been feuding and a fighting.
Oh, really?
Joe Rogan's...
Sad to hear about that. They were such a cute couple.
I know, right? And Joe was... I'm not going to play Joe's shit because we got in trouble for it before. Alex Jones, we always get away with plans, so got to give him that.
He loves the publicity.
Right. So let's go ahead and play some Alex Jones. Well, let me briefly tell you like a summary of what happened on Joe Rogan, though.
Okay.
So Joe Rogan comes on, and he starts talking about Alex Jones, because Alex Jones has taken a lot of little pot shots at Joe Rogan over the course of a little while, and I've seen them because it's something that people are interested in, and people are obviously always trying to foment discord between the different parties, and everyone understands that. So Joe Rogan finally got pressured into doing some kind of response, and it was a very like. I still love Alex as a friend. We've been friends for 20 years, and but I mean, the Sandy Hook stuff was fucked up, and I feel like he did misrepresent that to me when I had him on the show, and I feel like he is in a bad place right now, and that he's acting weird even for him. Joe kind of talks about Alex Jones in a way that I don't perceive Alex Jones. Because the narrative Joe's kind of presenting is Alex Jones used to be so much more reasonable and sensible and all this stuff, and he was this real like cool guy. And he actually defended him to me in person when I was on his show, and I was kind of even rolling my eyes at it then. But now. But Alex has turned lately, and now he's become twisted, and he's become way too dishonest and all this stuff, and he needs to stop lying.
I don't see any real difference.
Right, I see no difference between Alex Jones now and whatever.
I think friendship with the guy has,
as your friendship deteriorated, you're just waking up more to what he's always been.
Like I'm friends with you, so I put up with all your horrible nonsense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just like every time I see you at my door, like I see your silhouette in the window, I'm just like fucking. Oh, that stupid fat tub of shit is here again. Well, whatever. Plaster on the fake smile. Hey, Paul.
Hey, buddy.
Whatever.
What fake smile, dude? Where does that come in?
You're right. I
just get a grunt and you wrap in a blanket retreating to your room.
Whatever. That happened a couple times.
Usually TJ opens the door and just walks away. Like, he's the only person I know that does it. He'll open the door and not like walk away so you can walk in. Like, he just walks away and does something else. What the fuck do you want?
You're right, TJ. It did only happen a couple of times, but they were both fucking hilarious.
I guess
they were both awesome.
Especially because I look especially ridiculous wrapped in a blanket.
With your hair sticking straight up.
Because my hair's messed up and I got my hairy man cleavage going on, and then you can see my hairy ass back if my head hair's not covering it. And I just I'm not the most cantankerous when I just wake up, but I'm not pleasant either.
Well, let's hear some of Alex's bone broth.
Blah, blah, blah. This is Alex Jones' response to what I feel was a pretty measured response by Joe Rogan. Alex Jones' response, not so measured.
Call his prey. Like, he talks to me like I'm one of his prey. And like, oh, if I saw you here, you're still my friend. Just stop what you're doing, Alex. And all the rest of this crap. This is gold-plated BS when we play it. Joe Rogan literally does all these Soros talking points from Soros organizations. He cites Soros organizations and then says, I'm a liar. No, I'm not a liar. So you can run. You can run.
Alex Jones has gotten fatter.
The bone broth is starting to take place, I think.
I think that this narrative of him being depressed or whatever about his legal troubles and all the things he's been kicked off of, I mean, it seems to me that you like that neck fat is looking a lot more bulbous than it used to.
And he's trimming up the beard closer because
the beard is now de facto the chin, basically.
Yeah,
like
because... Yeah, that's what you do when you see guys that trim the beard like way up high on their jawline. That's usually a fat dude trying to hide his big gullet.
It's usually a fat dude trying to let you know where his fucking jawline is.
And I'm telling you, look at his hands. They look pudgy here.
Oh, yeah.
He looks about, I don't know, a foot wider than the last time I remember seeing him. Yeah, he's put on some weight, but maybe it's muscle weight,
Dude, he's
TJ.
fucking sucking.
Maybe those are muscle rolls.
I think he's sucking his neck in, dude. He's like...
But you can't.
Oh, no, don't. Just keep sucking it in, Alex.
Destiny, JoJo.
No, it's jiggling down there.
Oh, dude, now it's getting all jello-y.
Physically is a Christmas hog.
You look like
he's got like three of them. Yeah, he does look like a Christmas hog.
Him up by his back legs and slit his throat. His blood will fill buckets politically, not violently.
What? Politically, not violently.
I'm gonna slit his throat like a Christmas hog. Politically, not violently.
His blood will fill buckets. The earth will be red with the blood of Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan was totally wrong about Alex Jones. I think suffice it to say that.
And all you minions of the system a long time ago, I'm afraid of God. And when I'm not fighting you, I feel scared. When I'm fighting you, I see God smiling in the center of my soul, right in my heart. I know the wind is filling my sails, and I'm on a journey where I'm supposed to go. I'm on the path of...
I'm sailing away.
What is this shit?
I don't even know, dude.
I'm fucking sailing on a journey. Get out of here, Alex.
Burr, burr, burr. Alex Jones is crazy.
A path beyond the stars.
Oh, yes. Yes. Alex Jones talking about hobgoblins. He's going to explore the stars.
The path to Valhalla.
The Valhalla, where
too.
the brave may live forever. Holy shit, man.
The fucking cosmic Valhalla. Cool, man.
Because to not do it is to lose the soul.
Dude, we have to have the Rick Wiles versus Alex Jones video happen.
And I've chosen that I must take you on.
Oh.
All right, thank you, man.
It'll be this contest that defines us.
Cool.
It'll be these wars, these fights that make us who we are. Once we stop fearing the devil and start taking the devil on is the day we start living. And then you see the horizon. You realize God's in control. And the bluff's got to be called. The enemy's got to be engaged. Bone's got to meet bone. Sword's got to meet shield. The axe has got to come down on that skull.
Politically,
not violently.
Dude, Alex Jones is like he's like a fucking Greek
CIA
warrior,
created
dude.
Timothy Leary and put out the whole
Defend the
Sentinel
pass,
Revolution.
Alex.
And then we looked at the groups funding Joe Rogan, who single-handedly has pretty much relaunched the whole DMT ayahuasca movement with retreats in every city I know. And the police stand down and universities are involved, which shows you there's government funding. And Joe himself is involved in fitness groups and self-help groups that conduct thousands a year into ayahuasca, DMT, you name it, in stuff that is MK Ultra on steroids. And that's a fact. And so this is all hidden in plain view. So I was on Joe's podcast a couple years ago. Wonder why he never had me on in like 8 years. But I wasn't mad that he wasn't having me on. It was just kind of weird he wasn't. So I go on. It's the biggest podcast he's ever done. And then he starts to criticize me in the next year and a half. And he starts to repeat government talking points and Soros talking points over and over again. And so I'm a busy guy. I'm not.
We could watch for 37 minutes. He pretty much cycles through this same thing.
Joe Rogan is a government shill, basically.
And it just, it's a lot of like, he gets into very few actual substantive things, and the things he does are kind of dumb. Like Joe Rogan is a CIA operative, or he's being manipulated by the CIA because that's why he pushes the DMT on people and stuff, because that's all MK Ultra or whatever the fuck. And Joe Rogan pushed Bitcoin on the show because whatever, he did a pump and dump on Bitcoin or some shit. Just little things like that, but mostly it's just like, I'm going to destroy him and I'm going to rape his corpse. And he's the devil and he's a servant of the devil. And
politically speaking,
I destroyed Hillary and I destroyed the establishment and now I'm coming for Joe fucking Rogan. Rah! And it's just that.
I hope this
for
ends
37
in like a
minutes.
cage match or something. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think that if there's ever been an internet feud that should result in a fight,
UFC, dude.
Joe Rogan is an MMA guy. Alex Jones
former bodybuilder
has talked consistently about how his desire to box people and shit. Let's get these two in a fucking octagon or something, you know?
Let's do it.
Jones, who I think he needs to do some training, but
if they
Jones versus Rogan in the steel cage.
If it's announced 1 year from now for like $20, dude, take my money, dude. I'm like that Fry meme, dude. Take my fucking money.
Oh yeah, because you know that
I'm paying.
Alex would get back on that bone broth and shed those pounds and post another one of those
fucking
impressive
needs, dude.
Shirtless pics flexing
on a horse, no less.
Yep. Well, good luck, Alex.
Godspeed, Alex.
I don't think Joe Rogan gives a shit, but good luck.
Anyway, that's how that goes. Last story of the day, 2018, fourth hottest year on record, says now. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, guys. We're out of time.
I got to take a piss anyways.
We're out of time. We're out of time. We can't cover this one.
Just vamp or something.
Yep.
2018. Well, it's all, the scientists are lying to, get money.
It's going to be a hot one.
It's hot. Whatever.
Yeah, it's not even the first hottest. It's the fourth hottest.
Yeah, who gives
Where's
a
the
shit?
warming trend?
I don't see it. Isn't it supposed to be hotter? Shouldn't it be the hottest?
Yeah.
It's only the fourth hottest?
Yeah.
What a pussy year. Who cares? Who cares? It's nothing. Thanks for watching.
Bye.